What's going on, everybody? All right, let's get it going. Let me check my project management and see what I'm doing right now. Ability icon bugs, bad icons, disappearing, etc. That's kind of a tough one because they work in the editor. Anyway, I'm Matt. I'm the lead dev on Hanako, Honor, and Blade. I do a whole bunch of stuff ranging from world building, environment art, animation, hookup, which actually I might do that first. UI, UMG, menus, all kinds of different stuff. So if you have questions, let me know. I've been in the game industry for 10 years as a AAA dev. I've done indie, worked on this project for 10 years, so it's been a long time. So ask me things, be active. That makes for a way more fun stream. So I'm actually going to get started by, I'm going to implement some animations. I just need to download them really quick from our animator. Alright, I need to get to my exports folder. Alright, there we go. I can drag and drop these right into the engine. You find the matching folder, Aginadashi, anim arrays, and there's that. I don't want the mesh, I just want the animation, so I need to find the character skeleton, exported times fine, import all. Go ahead and save these guys, and our hit reactions in our game are full body animations with root motion. So I'm going to go through these and flag root motion on. And also, if root motion wasn't exported correctly, I'll know. Okay, looks like those are all good. All right, so ours play in an animation montage because they have some blending built in, and I'll show that tech in just a second. So what I want here, I'm just gonna duplicate this a bunch of times. Oh man, what's up, brother? You, me too, me too. Hold on, hold on. I can become one right now. Now I am an Oni samurai. Okay, I can't see it all. All right, so I need, oops, I hit a key. Heavy back. So the way these work is when you get hit with a heavy attack, there's four directions. If you get hit from the front, your dude will like flail this way. If you get hit this side, you'll get hit this way, and then if you get hit from the back, you'll fly forward. So we have four directional ones. And before we only had one for all attacks and abilities, and it was pretty small. It was almost like someone just like slapped the crap out of your chest, so you're just kind of like, and then you recover. And we want bigger ones with like bigger, more extreme poses, so it's more satisfying to use your heavier strikes. So we're gonna duplicate that. I need forward. And I'm going to be working on a whole bunch of different stuff tonight. I'm going to do animations first, and then I have some UI bugs. And what else? Some more UI bugs and more UI bugs. All right, sounds fun for me. I have left, forward, back, and I need right, and then I can get these hooked up. Okay. Oh, before I get to hooking these up, let me do something really quick. Okay, I'm gonna do, I forgot that I did different blood treatments for this, so I need to match these forward to forward. Paste in the blood. Need left. And right. What did I do? Let me see where I put, okay, I put sounds in here. Okay, I already have sounds in here. Them grunts. So these have sounds in them, so I just need to hook up the right ones. So I need heavy back, heavy forward, heavy left, and heavy right. So here's the other thing, okay? These, let me see how long these are. 0.566, they're all 0.566, okay. So I need to make this section a little bit longer, because they're copied from the other animation, so they're a little bit longer. Sorry, I'll spare you all the non-stop grunting. Never mind. Unreal had a different thing in mind. So let's see here. These are 16 frames long, 0.5 seconds. I have a 0.1 blend time, and that means that if like I'm in the middle of a swing and I get hit, it's going to take 0.1 seconds to blend me to the pose of him flying back. That's between that 0.2 is about half of this animation is blending. That's just way too long. So, and these should be pretty snappy anyway. So I'm going to give these a 0.02 blend time. I want there to be a little bit of a blend, but it shouldn't be half of the animation. So there's those. And while I'm at it, I might as well just take a look at the other ones and make sure that they don't have stupid blend times. These are actually even shorter, so I'm going to go ahead and just fix up the other ones. All right, one more. Okay. So now we need to hook them up. I'm gonna open up our character, our parent character. This is where functionality goes that all the characters share, and then you can override like, hey, for this big dude we want to use this animation, for the other dude we want to use the other one. So the way the logic works, if you've never seen this before, this is Unreal 4 blueprints, and basically it's a system where basically it's like cause and effect, or event and action. So some event occurs, what do you want to happen on that event? So in the case of our game, or what I'm doing right now, we have an event called event do hit reaction. Basically that just says, hey, I just got hit, what should I do? And then it executes logic to where I'm basically saying, hey, should it be heavy or should it be light? Hit reaction, yes or no. And within there, ooh, I just realized that that is not hooked up. So I don't think the heavy hit reactions have worked at all this entire time. So basically I have a formula in here that based on, it's either picking a light or a heavy hit reaction, and then it plays it, and I have a list of directions basically. So all I have to do for this to work is I'm just going to duplicate this list. Basically this is back, forward, right, and left. I'm going to move this off screen so I can navigate faster to it. So I have back here, then forward, then right, then left. And that really should be all I have to do. I'm gonna go to my test map. When you're iterating on new features, it's wise to always have a test map that's just like a simple little room you can run around and just test mechanics quickly. So I'm going to drop 2 characters in yet. Obviously I want one of these, and I want one of the other characters because I need to look at his as well. So there's light. I don't know if that really looked like it did anything. So I'm gonna make sure I may have overridden something in here. Nope. That looks right. Yeah, it's printing that outcome. Just to debug this, let me do get current montage. Get display name, and I'm just going to output that to the screen so I can see what's going on. Ooh. Okay, I got that. I got one of the bugs to happen. Cool. Ooh, those are backwards. Oh, cool. So okay, so it looks like these are actually have been backwards all this time. I think what I can do... That should be forward, forward, back, back. Just flipping those around. Let me take a look. Oh, okay. So I see what's going on here. They were actually... So were his backwards too? Okay, that looks right. Yeah, those are backwards on that guy. Okay. Okay, so those are done. All right, so that's done. To the project management. What do I got? Oh yeah, the ability icons. Ugh, I dread doing that, but I need to. So what I'm gonna do is I do need this open. I can close tabs to the right. I don't need those anymore. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys are quiet. So I need, let me move this back over. I'm gonna do some blueprint debugging to take a look at these HUD. I need ability bar and possibly ability and possibly that. I just need one. There we go. I got the reproduction that I needed. Actually, I want this. I need a breakpoint here. Okay. So that thinks that it's one. Okay. So that's a problem. What I'm gonna do here is a lot happens on the first frame. I'm gonna delay this 0 seconds, which basically just means next, like just do it next frame. That might not be enough, but let's see if that fixes it. And it looks like my perforce connection expired. It still says none, which is kind of weird. Because, oh yeah, that's right, it doesn't have it on the thing. Okay, so I'm actually just gonna do this a better way. I don't want to delay till next frame. So what I'm gonna do here is if this equals, and I'll talk you guys through what I'm thinking here. If your class equals none, which means you don't have a class, which is a problem. So if false, it can just set it, that's fine. Another thing I need to do, it doesn't really need to cast a character every time. Yeah, I get owner pawn. So I'm gonna actually do this. I'm gonna simplify this a little bit. Owner pawn is valid. And I'm also gonna do, I'm gonna create a boolean called allow tick. This really isn't the best way to do these, but so if it's true, it's going to set, I'm going to create a timer that loops every 0.25 seconds. Actually, I'll do every 0.1 second. That creates an event. Let me call this wait for class. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to store this. Owner PS for owner player state. So the way Unreal works is there's a hierarchy. You're basically you being connected to the game. The owner of that is the player state. That has things like what class you are, what team you're on, etc. The player controller is the layer that that's the local version of on a multiplayer game. The player state owns the player controller, and that's the layer that handles input and camera and that kind of stuff. And then the pawn is the actual character with the model and the weapon and everything else. So I'm going to create a timer. And I'm going to look at owner player state. I'm going to do a valid check because sometimes if these go invalid, it can cause a crash. I'm going to look for another check for equals none. So if equals none is true, just nothing's going to happen. If false, that means that the player class is valid now. If true, just keep looping. If false, set it. We can clear and invalidate this timer because it got what it needed. So stop looping the timer looking for the class. And it's also going to set allow tick to true. So now it's just going to wait. And let's try that again. So, yep, there goes the timer. And actually, this time I'm going to do a breakpoint here and get rid of this one because I know this has been working. I'm just going to resume until it hits it. Okay, it hit it. It hit it again. Actually, let me see if it just ever hits this. Resume, resume. Okay, so it does hit it. Now it's HPC Naginata, which means you're the Naginata class. Go, allow tick, good. And now the ability icons work. And until you have a class, it's not even going to attempt to update any of this. And there's a little bit of an optimization here where it's not having to get your class over and over and over. Let me think. If it's not valid, it almost should like rerun this. It should set allow tick to false and then basically refresh. Okay, so I'm going to disable these breakpoints because I just want to see, sometimes breakpoints allow things to work when they normally wouldn't. So I just need to see that this works. Okay, so it looks like it was a race condition. Okay, now I don't have an ability bar at all. Okay, well that's weird. Let me see if I can see that's weird. It's not even Terran Kicker, how's it going? Show that peculiar. So let me see something here. I'm gonna look for WB HUD ability bar, and I'm just gonna search everything. See where I'm adding this and see what I'm doing to block it. Okay. So there already is an ability bar. Well, the short version is it's a 12v12 class-based multiplayer game set in feudal Japan. If you ever played the Jedi Knight games back in the day, it's kind of, the combat's kind of fast-paced like that. It's a lot faster than a lot of Melee games. There's 4 classes in the game now. We've been in early access for a number of years. We're probably in the last, I'd say, 6 to 9 months of development. Question from James from Facebook: how long has this been in development? The project, it started as a college project back in 2008. We worked on it for 3 years, and then I got hired at my first industry job. It went on the shelf, and we picked it back up in June of 2013. So it's 7 years now, a little over 7 years. If you want to count the whole entire time, about 12, but it wasn't in active development for part of that. So changing classes, it did not like that very much. Okay. And the game started as a tribute. The whole game's backstory, why the levels look how they look, what the clans represent. It's all a metaphor for my mom's battle with cancer. She fought cancer for 4 years and passed back in 2007. And I started the project soon after while I was in college. And since then, since it's been a decade, a lot of the dev team has lost a parent or someone close to them to cancer as well. So the game is just kind of a living, breathing tribute to loved ones that we've lost. So let's see. Okay, this time it worked. Let me just make sure I go through all the classes and make sure. Okay, so it just X's them out when you can't use them. I think it's important to try to transform the tragedies of your life into something useful and something positive. And if you have to, create a creative, artistic sandbox for yourself to kind of work through those things, I think it's pretty useful. Don't recommend spending 10 years on one indie game, but it has its upsides too. You learn an awful lot from doing it. Okay, so this looks pretty good. While I'm in here, I had another bug that I was working on. I think it's this one. Is active. I gotta remember where I did this. So there's a bug where there we go. I was doing a check for if you're using abilities, or rather, there's curses in our game that like disable abilities for the enemy team for like 30 seconds, and yeah, and there's another function. I can't remember what it even is, but I don't remember what the call's called. Has ability disable, that's it. Oh wow, I can't imagine the adversity of something like that. I don't really know how to respond to that other than I wish you super well and thank you for taking time out of your night to watch this stream, James. It is super appreciated. Taryn, uh, there's nothing really to lose by wanting to learn. I mean, the resources are endless now. Like I started learning when I was 14, and there was like one tutorial site that someone made for making maps for Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and he set it up like a college class. So he had like 100, 101, and like 201 and 301. Like he kind of had all these different tutorials, and that was it. The rest was just experimenting until it worked. And now, you know, Unreal basically just on their Twitch probably has a VODs to teach you every single part of the engine. So I'm gonna replace this with, there's an ability. Why is it looking for expecting a Hanako? Has ability disable equals true. I think that's this. So let me see. Actually, I need 2 characters for this. Not 25, that would probably crash my computer. So let's throw 2 characters in here. I'm going to use my off-screen character. So in our maps, we have these 2 little meditation circles. The white ones are blessings, and the black ones are curses. If you meditate in them for the duration, it'll curse the enemy team. One of them gets rid of your enemy's abilities. So as you can see, the abilities are X'd out. Ooh, that's an OR condition. That's not great. Okay, I gotta fix that. Has ability disable. Because when I hold, I guess I need it is blocking too. I don't love this. It's getting complicated to deduce. You can, like, Unreal is basically unlimited in how good you can make it look. Like, we have kind of a stylized look because there's only 7 of us that work on this game, and we really have to pick and choose what we put our time into. So a stylized art style lets us make things a little faster. Even though honestly with mega scans and like photogrammetry and a lot of new libraries in the marketplace, you really can make a photoreal game pretty quickly. So I think this is going to be not, oops. I want to not boolean. I think this should fix the issue I had. And then I have another idea. So I'm going to go ahead and get the curse. Curse now. That's he's blocking. Is that, did I get that right? What's up, Tatman? Nope, that didn't do it. Go get the curse. Yeah, that's kind of messing this up. Terran Kicker, I'm not sure. I'm not a programmer. I know the entire engine is in C++, but it's kind of like its own breed of C++. It's so gigantic. But a lot of the programs that make up the engine were written in C#, so there's components of it that are C# instead. So it's not, I guess I lied when I said it's 100% C++, because I've seen like there's there are those C# components, but a majority of it is you're extending C++ classes for like the gameplay side of it. Luke, welcome. So let me talk myself through this. So first off, if you're out of key, that's true. Do the thing. What's a use case that you would want to do that? Just so maybe I can answer. Just offhand, at a high level, I'm not really sure. Like if you want a player to do something specific, I think that would have to be in C++. But if there's like a commandlet or a series of automation tasks you want the engine to do, that could be C#. Okay, so if has ability disables true, or is not attacking. What if I just pipe this directly? I might not even need all that fancy. It would be great if I didn't need that logic chain. Okay, gonna take the curse. That's super annoying. Oh wait, so it does, okay. So I do need a special case that, so if you're blocking, if blocking is true, then that would return true. Has ability disable is true, means you should be X'd. Blocking means if you're blocking, so I do need the not Boolean. If any of those are true. I think AI behaviors would have to be C++ as well, but I honestly, I don't know if I'm right. I'd like to say that I'm right, but I don't know. I've never seen any gameplay, anything in C# for Unreal. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist somewhere. Okay, so now, okay, I have that backwards. I'm getting close. This is also, I'm not a programmer, so sometimes I have to just like experiment until I get it. I'm a tech artist by trade. That's like my professional job. So let me buy some abilities. So now it X's out when I'm blocking, which is actually, you can't really cast abilities from block, so I'm okay with that. So it flashes on and then back off. That's not great. I don't love that. So something else I want to do, in this handle ability X, I want to add an additional Boolean here called cursed. By the way, guys, the game is on early access on Steam. If you go to steam.playhanako.com, it'll redirect to the Steam page. But every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, we do a playtest. It's usually myself, the rest of my dev team, and whoever wants to play. We try out new stuff every week. Like what I'm working on right now will get tested and verified in that test. It's a good time. And we host those on our Discord, and usually I stream gameplay too. It really helps us out a lot because we have some surveys that for feedback, and the more players we have, our game is made for 12 on 12, and a lot of times our tests aren't always full. So the closer we get to full, the better we can get feedback on balance and kind of get a feel for like our map design and stuff like that. And we're always trying new stuff, so no two tests are the same. Like there is something new in every single one of them, and we do them every week, so we would love new faces. And usually if you show up and play, I'll give you a key to bring friends or to give to a friend, so take advantage of that. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just do a whole different logic chain for if it's a curse. So if it's false, it's just gonna do the normal whatever. But if it is a curse, actually it needs to be cursed and condition both need to be true, or it'll never be false. You just set that to true. We use Asana and Monday, and so I'll show you in a second. So let's say we had a crash or two during the playtest. I asked people to send their .dmp files. I come into Asana, the bug section is the first thing in here, and I'll date the crash. I'll be like, hey, here's our 910 test. This is from our last Wednesday test client crash. I'll process what the call stack was and then attach the dump and the symbols for our programmer. And usually I just make sticky notes on my desktop, and I'm just writing down problems that I see that are actionable. And then every week the co-leads and we go through and we prioritize what bugs we think need to get fixed. Crashes are always highest priority. And we go from there. We're actually going to look into Bugsplat and some other bug reporting tools. There's ways you can turn like the Epic crash log and have it like send to your server, because once we get closer to release, we'll really need bugs and crashes to be more automated instead of us manually gathering. But while we're in early access, this works out okay. So I'm going to try a black X for these. And then I'm gonna try just like the normal red one for ability X. I might actually, I'm gonna desaturate this. So let's try this out. What I wanted to change is a couple things. So this was feedback from our test last week. I had done a very early rendition on the abilities crossing out when you're cursed. Yeah, so there we go. And the thing was, it was also turning the text black or red for the key cost, which is the little 15s in the circle. And it wasn't super clear. So I'm just going to use black X's for curses and keep the X black red with the red text for when you're actually out of key. So yeah, there's the, you see, well actually the blocking one isn't super useful to know too. So yeah, this looks okay. There's a small thing that I need a code change for with it flashing when you block. So let me make sure. I think this is fine. So let me try this one more time. I'm gonna go in and out a few times with each class and just like really quickly by abilities, make sure the icons all work. I think the ninja is one that people had problems with last week. Okay. Okay, looks good. Gonna call that done. So I'm gonna come into here, my tasks. I had ability X. I didn't update these tags. Okay. That should be done as well. So it's dropped off my list here because Monday has integrations for like Jira and a bunch of other stuff. And really, we will probably move to Jira for bug tracking. I use Jira at my job, and it's just 1,000 times easier for bugs. Triaging bugs and all that is just way easier. I'll do this one because I know this is like a 5-minute thing. Closing team select with back button leaves mouse cursor, which is an input lock. Right now, no. We pretty much like QA ourselves during tests. Basically, every week we do an hour meeting before the play test to go over all the stuff that's going into testing, and then the Thursday or Friday after the test we do another meeting to mark whether it was successful and successful partial or we just skipped it, and we verify it that way. It's not perfect, it's not formal QA, but for where we're at on the project and only being 7 people, it's really the only option we have. What used to happen actually is I had a sticky note and I just had a list with a date and I would literally just highlight it and cross it off. And my co-leads got sick of me doing that and said we need better project management for shipping this because I work on so many things. I like to work real fast. Like I don't want to take time to click buttons. So I would just churn through stream of consciousness, and it really is not a great way to work. I actually really like working this way now. I know exactly what's being worked on. I mean, right now it's mostly me and our gameplay programmer in this list. The rest of the team is still on Asana, just because they're working on smaller, isolated things. But it works for me. So closing team select with back button leaves mouse cursor. That's a 2-second thing. I mean, there's really no wrong software to use. It just depends. If you're more logical and you're a software engineer, I think most engineers prefer Jira. I've used Trello before. Asana, there's a lot of things I don't like about it. But Asana, I think, does have boards too. I can't remember how to get to them. Yeah, there's a board. Yeah, it has like boards too, but I don't know. Monday, one of our co-leads or co-founders loves Monday. He uses it at his job, and we've been using it just for our, like weekly sprint tracking to know basically what's going into testing, and that's been pretty helpful. So I worked on these earlier. I'm going to toss these into just so they get into testing. Oops, it automatically put them in the done pile. Forgot to put a due date on them. That was my fault. It does not put them in any logical order though, which is super annoying. Just so I can sort by date later. I've never used Microsoft DevOps. A lot of game studios use Jira. That's almost, I would say like Jira and Perforce for Unreal is like almost standard. So this will be a really quick bug fix, thankfully. So I have team select screen. I'll show you the bug now. This is I love 5-minute fixes when they're on my list because I can knock them out. So if I click select team and I hit back, oh, it actually worked there. That's weird. Okay, well, the bug's not happening here. But sometimes the mouse cursor gets left, and when that happens, is it class select? Does class select have a back button? No, works fine there. So if your mouse cursor gets left and there's no menu to like close, sometimes the mouse gets stuck and you can't move, and you get stuck basically in UI mode, and that's a problem. I'm just gonna double check this. Destroy pop-ups, remove from parent, set input mode game only. I don't like that. I'm gonna get HUD. I have a function in our HUD class that basically enables UI mouse and it does the right things it's supposed to. So I'm going to do it that way. Oh yeah, I'm actually doing that in a few different places. I'm going to leave that alone for now. But I'm a little weary. I'm going to make the same change in this, because I'm pretty sure I did the same thing. Set input mode game only. Actually, I'm gonna use that if it fails for some reason. Because this works sometimes. Because set input mode game only is fine, but if the cursor is still valid, it can cause problems. So the behavior should be the same, really. Select team, back. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I think that should be good. So, by the way, friends, I try to dev stream at least once a week. Sometimes I'll stream Sunday through Tuesday, and then Wednesday night our playtest is streamed as well. So if watching game development is interesting, make sure to give us a follow on wherever, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Steam, wherever you want. And so you get notified when I go live. Sometimes our other devs will stream, but I'd say like 90% of the time it's me. So if you don't like me, then don't watch the stream, because I will be on here most of the time. Okay, closing team select with back button. That should be fixed. CTA scroll status. That should get updated in a second. Oh, I see. That's kind of annoying, actually. CTS scroll status incorrect on lead join center HUD. Okay. For this one, I need... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Accidentally clicked the wrong thing. So battle is like our team deathmatch game mode class. I need to do some testing on our capture the scroll mode. So I'm gonna reparent. Blueprint is basically like a node-based, but is a node-based scripting language you've seen me use on here so far. But you can inherit from C++ classes and then do all the child behavior completely in nodes. And it basically runs it through like a C++ VM. I don't fully understand all that. All I know is I can connect nodes and things work, and I'm happy because I don't have to wait for a coder to do it. When you only have one programmer, it's nice to be able to do what I'm doing. So, let me see. let me make sure this all works first. Let me close some of this nonsense. I like it a lot. When our game used to be in UE3 and UDK, and you know they had Kismet, which was really more for like level scripting. It wasn't really meant for scripting the game, and they kind of did some animation logic and some other stuff, but I really couldn't take anything off of people's plates. And in UE3, you had to use like Scaleform or Coherent or hardcode your UI. There was no like visual interface where like I have a setting screen that's on a grid and I can like reorder buttons super easily, and like everything's in like a contained grid, and I can do all the logic for all the buttons in here, and it's super handy and easy to work with. Because I'm only half technical. So yeah, this is our scoring, and this bug is these statuses aren't properly so I'm running tick. So I need to figure out where I'm updating these things. No results, so it might be in the blueprint class. Something that is dangerous in Unreal 4 is that a lot of stuff, it's easy to do an event tick, which it literally fires every tick. So that could be 60 times a second or 120 times a second. And that's really horrible practice. If you're a software engineer, you know this already. But Unreal's very event-based, and you can bind to events in other classes, but you have to make those bindings, and if they don't exist, then the tendency is, or you don't have good state machines that track stuff in multiplayer where there's online networking and replication. It gets really complicated. I get confused all the time. So I need to figure out where I've scrolls HUD. Is this where I'm updating it? Scroll update. Yeah, this is where I'm doing it. Okay, so that kind of makes sense actually. So scroll update is happening on tick, and it's every 0.2 seconds. That's kind of weird because scroll status. This gets mismatched. It's not replicated. It is on tick every 2.2 seconds. Did I get new events? Let me see. So let me just see what's going on with this. So let me see if I can recreate the problem first off. Nope. Oh yeah, I have to do think I'll have to wait for the warm up, but that's okay. It needs to be the real non-test mode for the UI to work. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up the scroll. It tells me capture. On the other client, it says, hey, my scroll needs retrieved. Now I'm gonna reconnect this client. Yep, now it says that they're both home, even though that one is very clearly not home. And the icon's wrong. Oh, it updated then. That's real weird. So that updated at the same time that that did. Okay, that. See, this is where I was doing this at. Okay. I also need the widget that I was using on okay, so I'm gonna pick the scroll up. It's right. I see retrieve, and I just want to take a look here. Client 2. Client 2. I think it's this one, but I'm not positive. It is scroll mode. Held. Okay. I'm gonna reconnect on this client, and this is where things get haywire. Now it's all like backwards and weird. So that's not even the right one. So scroll mode. I have an idea actually. So does scroll mode just need to be replicated? And then scroll holding mode. I think it actually might need to be like rep notify, and then this just needs to be update arrow. I don't know why. Oh yeah, because it is out in the world, and it's the state is going to be consistent from person to person, I think. And that might be the same problem with the okay, good. The scroll. Everything's good. Everything's good. Reconnect. Everything's not good. So for some reason that an update gets triggered at some point and then it works. But why doesn't that happen like as soon as you restart? So let me take a look in here. I don't even know when that update happens. Like it seems like super long. So this scroll picked up. So it's almost like still this. Yeah, there's some information, but because it's updating on tick, it should technically get the right information right away because it's pulling it from game state where it's replicated, but I don't actually think this needs to get replicated. Because what really needs to happen is anytime anyone reconnects, it should be getting this get scroll status. Not really. There's a like it doesn't know if it's your first connection or a reconnection, at least in our setup. So here's what I really want to find out. I'm gonna run the client again. I want to see like what's going on in here that's like making the update fire again. Because I have an idea that I think I can get it to work. So I'm gonna go pick this scroll up. Scroll grabbed. some reason the ninja's weapon didn't initialize correctly, but okay. It looks right though. The HUD stuff is all right. I'm gonna reconnect. And now it is wrong in the HUD but here's what I wanna watch. I wanna see when that update triggers and it works, if like something fires in here. It did. It did. I don't know when it did this, but it did it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I don't think I need to know that. This should be broadcast interval. That's what it is. Okay. So I need a series of scroll picked up, scroll held. I don't know how those are different, but I think, so I need a scroll held, and this is going to be a rep notify. And what rep notify is on the server, anytime that variable is updated, it's basically triggered. It goes and lives on the server, and anytime a player connects on their initial update, rep notifies basically hold the state. So the rep notify is kind of how you handle reconnections. What I'm gonna do is, come on, autosave. I'm gonna pipe scroll held into here and set that to true. And I'm gonna make a custom event called late join scroll held. And that's just gonna go here. I don't think I'm using, yeah. So then what I'm gonna do here too is on begin play, which is basically when the scroll is run. And then in this scroll held notify, I can do, on false it's just gonna do nothing. And on true, I want to do late join scroll held. So that should update the HUD. Ooh, that brings me to this crazy function. These are all gameplay alerts, but I feel like I probably also need, the weird thing is that this one should, since it's on tick, it should get the updated status like right away. I need to make sure that this goes through a notify as well. I don't think it is, and that's something I can't fix. But if I can fix it in the arrow, then I can pass it on to my programmer. So let's see if this first thing works. Oops, it's my scroll. I gotta go pick up the other one. Alright, picked up the scroll, looks good. Looks good. Reconnect. And not good. Oh yeah, if you reconnect during a drop scroll, it's all sorts of confusing too. So that did not work at all. Oh, I have an idea too. Wait. Go back to here. Actually, no, it is setting this stuff. I don't think that it's a local instance of your. Run on owning client. I think that might be what I need. Let me see when I get breakpoints on it. Okay, so I did get it. Okay, so that looks right. Okay, so I hit it again. Nope. Oh, I just hit it again. So now it's gonna work. So here's where I'm confused. It's right. I'm gonna restart again. Let me see what it's doing here. Ah, WB Aerocast. So this hasn't yet initialized. I'm gonna try delaying a second and just see what happens. I don't think this even needs to be replicated. That's a big problem in Unreal when stuff, rep notifies or fired the first tick that your player state has joined the game, but there's so much information that's dependent on other things that you almost always have to delay those events till later in your execution chain. It's a giant pain. Why is the ninja weapon not working now? So if I die, does it work on respawn? Why is that? I've never seen that before. Yeah, it's just like the editor does not. So wait, I need this. So that works. I'm gonna reconnect. Oh, it worked. It worked. It just didn't, the first tick, it just didn't initialize the WB arrow object yet. Okay. So now I need to figure out why this one. So now when I reconnect here, that time it did work, but the other times it didn't. So is it working now? Retrieve and home. Let me try this again. That first one was a little weird. If so, then the rep notify is doing its job. It just needed delayed. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the scroll. Retrieve, reconnect. Retrieve, and retrieve. Sweet, works. Now I need to do the same thing for dropped. So I'm gonna make a rep notify called scroll dropped. Oops. Scroll dropped rep notify. Rep notify, it auto creates a function, and I'm gonna set that to true. I'm gonna copy that on begin play. False. And it'll be very similar. Scroll owner PS. It's actually what it's gonna call this one actually. It can go through here. Late joiner scroll dropped. And that's also going to need a delay. This one I'm going to see if I can get away with a quarter second. Late joiner scroll dropped. Late joiner scroll dropped. Okay. So let's go ahead and test that. Streaming with when it's way easier to work on 3 monitors is it's a thing. So it's working out okay. I'm getting what I need. Okay, so I'm gonna pick the scroll up. I probably need a capture. I need to try something else too. I'm gonna try. Oh yeah, if I reconnect, I drop it. So if I go kill this dude, I picked the tankiest class. Scrolls dropped, reconnect. Sweet, that worked. Home and home. All right, that looks like let me look in this scroll class. Make sure I didn't miss something. Scroll held does both. There's no other for captured. I guess I could do one for that. It's not. That is a state that should be tracked, so. I'll rename this. I think this gets verified all the way down the chain, so I don't think player state gets piped. Scroll player state. Wow, it doesn't validity check that the entire chain. No, because they're technically not the same condition. One is dropping the scroll, one's capturing the scroll, one's holding the scroll. So this event gets triggered when you cross the goal line, basically, like you've scored and it hasn't yet respawned. The hard part here is this is assuming a capture's already been made. Let me see if I can do capture PS. And then this is going to be late joiner captured. I'm going to have this be replicated. I may need it. I'm going to actually make this rep notify as well. It doesn't need to execute anything when it's changed, but I do need the server to keep a copy of this. And I basically just need the late joiner update to be this. And then in the onRep captured, it needs to be late joiner captured. So each one of these booleans represents if a state has been triggered or not. The way we set this up too is when the scroll is on the ground, it's a separate class that inherits from a generic pickup class. So it's basically like Hanako pickup _ scroll. When you actually touch the pickup, it becomes an inventory item that inherits from Hanako scroll, which is not a pickup, it is an inventory item. So, and a new one gets created each time, so you don't get redundant events here. So let's try that one. I expect to get a null pointer on the the player state that it's trying to pass through that event on the captured part, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go capture this scroll, and then right when it says captured, I'm going to switch to the other pawn and reconnect during it. So captured, still says captured. It shows captured is like the location is like somewhere weird. There we go. I'm actually very happy with that result. That I didn't think I'd be able to fix this on my own. So something else I'm going to do while I'm in here. There's another task that's kind of related to this stuff. This is just some text cleanup. I have this edit objective scoring thing. I really shouldn't have anything in this for localization purposes, but I'm going to take out friendlier enemy here. The text system in Unreal 4 is really good. So basically you can put stuff, just make up names in brackets. It'll automatically give you input nodes for it. And then you can grab strings from string table databases. And those are localized strings. So you can export those same spreadsheets and send them to localizers. And it'll basically be like, you know, the base string is the English word for Hanako, but it might be something else in like the Cyrillic alphabet, and it'll just fetch the right culture once it's localized. So, and then I can set up complex text that's a multiple different string table entries, which is really great. So now I have Hanako score. It's not going to say friendly or enemy anymore. Which was a request of our UX designer. And then there was one other change with, this is actually a contained change, so I can, let me submit this stuff. Sorry, I'm writing a proper description. Yeah, dynamic text. I actually streamed all of this, and it was probably a really boring watch. But I went through, and so something important about Unreal. Also, Taryn, I want to stop for a second and thanks for hanging out and being active in chat. I really don't like streaming when chat doesn't say anything. I get tired because obviously I'm working at night. It's almost 12:30. Please follow this channel on Twitch because I would love to see you back here sometime. This has been nice for me. It is appreciated that you're here and asking things. And I'm more inclined to explain things because I know you're a software engineer and some of this stuff might make sense. Oh, well, thank you. I really should really should validity check that, but it's okay. So how I had to go through every single class. So let's say I wanted Hanako space score. This would output a string that's just Hanako space score. All of our menus were done with this kind of stuff. This is not localizable at all. It's just a raw data string. There's nothing about it at all. That's a great question. You can create a timer, not a timeline, but a timer, and you could use an finterp too. Current value, target value, and you could run this in a timer, but I don't have a good example of ever having done that. And then you could use this to be like set transform or whatever. I don't know if that'll work, but I've seen finterps I usually see in tick events. But a timer essentially is an isolated, like, timed object where the increment, if you have a looping timer, is essentially the same thing. It's just once the timer's done, you can destroy it. So the last thing I want to do tonight, and then tomorrow night I'll be doing lane blocking. Basically, I want to make like a domino effect of falling trees that like fall over lanes. And in the capture mode, it's a 3-lane mode. You have 3 routes that you can capture, and if you can block, the center one's usually the easiest, and I want to make a mechanic where you can go block their route. So that's something a little more fun than what I'm doing. Still, there's a lot of networking problems with it though, so I'm not that excited to work on it. I need HUD game tickets. I don't need 100 in here. Oh, I think I did do in WB HUD, I have a function called update battle tickets. I'm going to change that to 0. That's the first thing I wanted to change. Ticket alert at 0. Oh, that's just tickets empty. So actually, I want to disconnect these all together. And I want this. Where's enemy? Did tickets enemy. And then where's friendly? Friendly's up here somewhere. Tickets empty. So I don't want any. Actually, I'll keep the 10% warning, but I don't want the animation to play, which it just flashes the text red when the tickets get low. I think update battle tickets. Create ticket counter. There we go. Okay. I need to remove the same thing from here. Friendly enemy needs to go. And friendly enemy needs to go. I personally like it, but it is text clutter. The other thing that's nice about these format nodes, you can add line breaks, and I think you can use like HTML, and like you can actually put condition logic in here for like gender, like Latin languages that have masculine and feminine words, and you can pick the right one based on like these different byte strings. It's pretty amazing. So there's still some lingering friendly enemy. Okay. And for this one, I need to open one of our actual battle maps. Terran, are all of our assets built in-house? Most of them are. Once in a while, I'll lean on Marketplace for certain things. Like when we launch our item store, like I'll probably find some stuff that just needs some restyling or retexturing. There's a lot of like samurai stuff on the Marketplace I kind of want to take like helmets and stuff like that. But I'd say 90% of the environment art in our game I made. I used to be an environment artist for 6.5-ish years in the game industry before I went into level design and tech art. So I have done an awful lot of our environment art. And this map is our original map that's been restyled a bunch of times. And this, I'll show some of that. So all I really need to do here is just hop in game for like 2 seconds and just see when the HUD initializes. Yep, Hanako tickets, Umai tickets. The formatting's weird on it. It needs to be like center aligned or something. But other than that, it looks fine. I'll fix that really quick. Game tickets. Friendly icon switcher. And that's how easy changing formatting is. No, I don't think ray tracing is ready for until the 3000 series is standard and like greater than 50% of Steam's using a 3000 series. I don't think games should put ray tracing in. They're like performance destroyers. There we go, that looks better now. Umai tickets, Hanako tickets. Friendly is always on the left side. Enemy is 20% tickets remaining. That's not right. Oh, I know why. Math error. This still needs to be 0.1. Wait, what? Oh, I see now. I just want these to bypass these animations. Oh, it's shader compiles in Unreal are really slow anyway. It really takes Unreal a long time to compile shaders. Yep, no alerts, everything looks good. Alright, and to wrap things up, I will give you guys a quick tour of our newest map, just in case you've never seen the game before. So, like I mentioned before, this is a pretty personal game. So the Hanako clan kind of represents my mom. and they're the good guys. Obviously, they kind of all their maps are. Actually, I'll just show you. Unreal is really good at giving you checkboxes to turn things on and make it easy, but it is not good at telling you what is expensive and what's not. And that's, I'm kind of glad though, because that keeps me employed. Because like multi-platform performance and like best practices, it's kind of like my specialty professionally. So this is the Hanako Castle. A lot of gold, very pretty, snow-capped mountains, cherry blossoms. This is one of our artists did this silk painting of basically it's my mother passing, and this whole castle is kind of representative of her last moments. This is one of our professors that passed away, and the day he passed, there was a big hawk in a tree in his yard that had never been there before, and his wife told us about it. So we have hawks painted throughout the game to kind of represent him. So that's basically the Hanako clan, and in this mode, the Yamai clan is making their final siege and trying to break through the castle gates. All the maps kind of stitched together in a way, like they're not like open world where you just go one to the other, but from like a map cycle perspective. And on the very far end of that spectrum, Yamai is kind of like it's kind of a translation of illness or disease. And they represent cancer and things that have taken loved ones from us. So these maps are pretty dark. But we released this map in April. I made a lot of new stuff for it, tried out a lot of new techniques. It was really a lot of fun to work on. So you play a map called Shiga Forest before this. That's basically the Hanako clan's looking for a map to get to the village, and it's kind of swampy. There's a graveyard that kind of starts hinting at you're in Yamai clan territory. I'll open that map next. And this is also the first map where we introduce kind of dynamic world transformations based on what's going on. So yeah, I really try to put a lot of anger and a lot of pain into this map and a lot of graphic imagery, and just, you know, the Yamai clan kind of knows no mercy. So this Torii Gate was kind of like a hero asset that I spent a lot of time on. I kind of use existing animation poses to pose the characters without having to like make anything new. However, since Hanako's sieging this village, I'm kind of establishing. So the first objective is fighting this thing. This is kind of a tree that they execute and hang the enemies from. So and since Hanako kind of stands for serenity and peace and that type of thing, I wanted to experiment with, you know, having Hanako kind of heal nature and like bring nature back to corrupted territory, if you will. So I played around with having like new trees kind of grow out of the old. That's still like one of my favorite moments in the game. And having like the light colors change based on who wins what. Here's like our ritual and curse site. So this mode is like a tug of war mode. You're alternating between destructibles and control zones. And should just show you guys some art. some rooftops and a lot of small details. There's heads hanging from ropes, and the Yamai clan does not hesitate to show off their conquest. And I'll see if, I don't know if it works in the editor, but I'll see if it does. So yeah, there's lantern change. Their village kind of caught fire now. I'm going to slowly go through the other maps and do that too. So we haven't done the castle map yet. That's the last map we have to make for the full version. So I just put kind of like a black silhouette of a castle to kind of hint at it. There's a lot of kind of intimidating statues. There's like a head on a sickle and a dude getting stabbed, and that's the Yamai clan for you. And the last objective is the crematory. They burn their defeated alive a lot of times in their kind of backstory, and that's the final objective. Hanako is trying to destroy that and say enough of that. So I'm gonna destroy this really quick. And one of the new things we introduced were victory cinematics. So each team has a different cinematic that plays based on who wins. I don't remember if it actually works in here or not, but we'll find out in a second. All the clicks. So this is the final objective. It's the first to win 3 objectives, and then here we have, yeah, there we go, it works. You see the skybox changes blue. They destroy the statues and have some trees growing out of them, and then they're sieging the castle. So not a ton of, I don't make them super long, like 10 or 15 seconds, since it's online and players just want to play. But I did want to give some payoff for winning. I spent a lot of time on these. So some of the first ones I made are a little boring. Like it's just like dudes chasing dudes out of the map. But that's kind of, let's see. Trying to give some context and finality behind each match. This is the last one I'll show. This is the map right before the village. Like I kind of hint at the village. The gates at the bottom, you're on the other side of it on this map, and this is where you're trying to get the scroll map to their village. And this was our previous newest, the second newest map. You're kind of on the way to their village. You don't quite know where it is, but they have kind of these really, this map is kind of like a trophy case for their conquest. In our story, the Yamai clan wiped out all the Sengoku-era clans, and Hanako's the only one left. They're protecting the Emperor's sons. And Yamai just kind of saying, hey, you're treading on our turf, and we're going to let you know you're not safe here. We're looking at sometime between like February and May of next year. We have the one more map to make, and then like localization and just polish and clean up, a lot of bug fixing, a lot of crash fixing. But the game's in a pass on getting like the item store. I really want to launch with helmets, masks, sashimono, which are like the banners on your back, some weapon skins. I want to make sure that we're set up for that stuff. And I've done a lot of it, but it's not stable, so still a lot to do. But I'm gonna clean up my task list real quick. That's fixed. That's fixed. And I'm pretty much on to stretch tasks now, which I mentioned I want to do some, like when you destroy the destructible, the column or the tree's gone, but nothing happens. Like on the other map, I might do this tomorrow. It sounds a little more fun than the lane blocking mechanic. It's kind of weird. It wants me to check those out just in case I miss something. Unreal loves marking stuff as dirty, like it needs saving and checked out of like source control. It's kind of scary. Some of our less file management inclined devs submit a lot of broken stuff because of it. Unreal tries to save everything. So this is the Hanako Village. Um, it's all centered around the Grand Sakura tree and this temple, and this column is the first objective. But when you destroy it, like nothing happens. So I'm gonna go in and like have this catch on fire and have the fire kind of spread around, a lot of smoke, and kind of permanently. You don't really ever play in this area of the map again. So I want my players that succeed to benefit from that. Hanako has a way less epic final objective. They're just it's like their armor smith forge compared to the Yamai one, but this map was made probably 3 years ago now. Yeah, we do update every week. The patch doesn't always stay live. Like we'll do a test Wednesdays, and if that build is good and it's not introducing new stability issues, then we'll just leave that live and we'll patch all the servers and put them back up. Um, So like one of the I mentioned these ritual mechanics earlier. That used to not be part of our game, and we had a publishing review, and one of the things they said is we wish there were like side objectives or something like more thematic. So we're kind of starting to bring like there'll be like a Oni statue by curses, and for now there's a white tree, but we're working on an Amaterasu like hero statue, and we're kind of be like this heaven and hell kind of theme, using the Oni or Shinigami versus like Amaterasu is like kind of like the sun guardian, like goddess kind of. She's kind of like the protector of Japan and Hanako. Um, so and these ritual sites went over super well because they can like disable abilities for a minute or disable sprinting, which in like a capture mode when you need to run a scroll is a very important curse. And so you're kind of like trolling the enemy team with those, and players liked them way more than I could have ever hoped. It was kind of like one of the missing things in our core gameplay. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm pretty tired. I got a lot done tonight. Pretty much cleared my list for the whole week. I feel like people expect me to be like an expert on it because I've worked on a game for 10 years, and I would say, I've done my research on samurai, watched a lot of films, played a lot of games. But I would say it's somewhere between very deep and very surface. It's not. I'm not like a scholar on it by any means. I also worked on Smite for like 6 years, so mythology is something I spent a lot of time around. But yeah, I'll probably be back tomorrow. I think I'm gonna work on these dynamic level events, and something that we're gonna do is, so I want to start getting. No, I worked for a different studio. I worked for 2 studios, neither of which are Epic. So I want to have basically like the world starts changing based on what the score currently is, and So like as Yumai's winning, I want to have like kind of ashes and embers kind of like swirling around the character. Or when Hanako's winning, I want like petals to be rolling around, and like nature is kind of more plentiful. Trees will like lose their leaves or grow their leaves back depending on like what map and what team's doing what. So I may do the global particle tomorrow. The best way to do it is you have a particle that's attached to the character and follows the character around. Um, so it appears like it's global and it's always happening. Like that's how a lot of games do weather. The rain or snow like follows the character, because placing particles all over the level is a performance problem. So you have basically like a local client side only particle system that just stays with the player's camera, and you just put it like right in front of the camera. So like as things are swirling around, you just make it big enough to where it always looks like it's happening. So that'll be fun to work on. And I had kind of like a vertical slice of, hey, we need to do these every time an objective is complete. That local area needs to be affected in some way. So I need to set up. Usually I use the level sequence tool. It's the same tool that I use for victory cinematics. I'll probably be setting up this temple catching on fire, and it's basically just triggered particles. You just say, hey, when when this is destroyed, I need you to play I basically need you to play a timeline of these particles getting activated and these decals of burn marks getting turned on. So, and then I use the transform to scale the burn marks to make it look like the burning spreading. It's just like smoke and mirrors little tricks. But anyway, thanks guys. As always, I would love to see you guys in our weekly events. You can catch us on Steam. We're like $6.99 right now. Our Discord is the best place to reach us and see when we're streaming, when we're doing events, playtests, giveaways, any of that. So hope to see you guys soon. Thanks for being awesome viewers and guests. It's really nice to meet you guys. And welcome to the Hanako family. Hope to see y'all again.